have the blues so bad that it hurts your feet to walk? Did you ever have the blues so bad? You know it hurts your mouth to talk. Hey now, hey now. Hey now, hey now. Don't you know it makes you feel so bad? Until you lay right down and die. Well, did you ever wake up in the morning just about the break of day? Reach over on the pillow where your baby used to lay. Hey now, hey now. Hey now, hey now. Don't you know it makes you feel so bad? Until you lay right down and die.
Good morning to you, Wolves, Wolfheads, Cubs, and Cubheads all across America and all around the world. Welcome to America's #1 blues show. This is the Blues. Each and every week we come to you with live performances, the very best in live performances from the very best of the blues. But I want you to remember, in addition to that, this show is about the blues. And when I say the blues, I'm talking about guys like Clarence Carter, Buddy Miles. I'm talking Freddie King, Bobby Patterson, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jim Sula, Mike Morgan. The blues. Yeah, dig that. It's the root of all music. I'm talking the root of rap, R&B, hip-hop, gospel, spiritual. The blues. It's right in there. It's the root. It's the beginning. Remember that and know that you can't get away from it. It's a part of your daily lives. Here's Lila looking at this week's show.
Thanks, Wolf. Tonight's show features one of the hardest working bluesmen in the business. It's Pete Bootlegger Barbeck. Not only does he host DaBlues CD reviews, but he also holds an open jam every Thursday night at Lotus Goat. He'll be up later inside of DaBlues CD review. And CJ Wolf, she'll get you all updated via DaBlues News. And tonight's blues giant, well, I think I'm going to make you wait on that. Back to you, Wolf.
Thank you, Lila. Before we get started, a couple of words about tonight's guest star. When I first saw this cat over the now closed Blue Cat Blues, I fell in love with the performance of Pete Bootlegger Barbeck. He was excellent then. He has grown tremendously since then. You'll enjoy him tonight, so don't you dare move that body. Sit down. Don't you dare move. Coming up next, America's #1 blues show. This is the Blues. Word up.
Welcome, my children of the night, my howlers and prowlers of darkness, connoisseurs of the blues. Welcome to America's #1 blues show, the Blues.
This is Ginger from Texas Blues Radio, and you are watching The Blues.
First time I saw you at Blue Cat Blues,
I remember.
And you did Rio Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
You left the stage, went to the floor, and did your thing. It was like you had this personal relationship with your guitar.
Well, that's an old one, and I've played that one a long time, you know.
Yeah. But we consider you one of the best in the country when it comes to playing the guitar. What's on your mind when you're on stage?
Sort of goes blank a little bit, and yet I'm trying to think about what I'm doing, pleasing the audience, and stay a little focused. But
So what's the history behind Bootlegger? How did you come up with the name Bootlegger?
well, that came from one of our BC Blues Fests back in 1999. I bought the kegs of beer for the party. It was a large outdoor party, and we didn't have a license for the
Bootlegger.
for the keg.
Other members of your group, Seventh Son, I know Skinny from McKinney on bass.
Right.
And on drums, you've got...
Rob Maneri. Rob
Okay.
Maneri.
Now, who's the cat on the, what's that, tenor sax?
Tenor sax. That's Clark Moore, a buddy of mine that I met down at Lotus Goat.
Who were some of your idols?
Well, I always loved Carlos Santana.
Well, it's obvious.
Yeah.
In
and,
the Rio Bravo, too.
Right. And Jimmy Vaughn was an early one back in the late 70s, and, of course, his brother Stevie.
How's that CD doing?
CD's been doing real well. we're in our second pressing, and we're fixing to start on a brand new one here in the next few months. So
Oh, that's exciting.
I've got it all written. I've got several licenses to do a couple of cover tunes, a Gene Pitney song, Town Without Pity, Josh Allen song, who's a buddy of mine, and then the majority of it's original that I've written.
All right, look, we're going to get back to the blues and some more Pete Bootlegger Barbeck. So don't you dare touch that dial.
This is Tugger from the Teamster Motorcycle Club from Dallas, Texas, local 745, and you're watching this on DaBlues.
She got a blue tattoo. She got some other things too. She got a blue tattoo. She got some other things too. There ain't nothing she won't do. Show that blue tattoo. You don't know where it's been. Where she went it is a sin. You don't know where it's been. Where she went it is a sin. There ain't nothing she won't do. Just sit back. She came riding down here, wearing leather, showing skin. I seen her riding down here, wearing leather, showing skin. There ain't nothing I can do. Just sit back, enjoy the view. Bye bye, baby, bye bye. I'm too sorry for you. Bye-bye, baby, bye-bye. I'm too sorry for you. Well, goodbye, goodbye, baby. I'm too sorry. She got a blue tattoo,
More to blues later. Now here's Pete Bootlegger Barbeck with a DaBlues CD review.
Hey y'all, this is Pete Bootlegger Barbeck. Today I'm at Tower Records in Dallas, Texas, and I'm reviewing the debut CD release by Beth Garner, titled Much Later for You. Beth is a Dallas native, 23 years old, and plays guitar, sings, and writes much of her own blues material. She attended the Arts Magnet High School in Dallas, but received most of her inspiration and influence by stepping out at area blues jams and hammering away with established blues performers. On Much Later for You, Beth says she is paying respects to her influences. With a crystal clear voice, one blue note after another on guitar, Beth slings away a number of blues styles and shows she really means business. Beth Garner wrote 5 of the 10 cuts on Much Later for You and really shows a flair for blues songwriting. Catch Beth Garner live and pick up Much Later for You before it is much later for you.
Now here's Lila Legs Lockwood with the DaBlues Giant.
Bessie Smith is known as the Empress of the Blues. She is considered one of the best blues artists the blues world has ever produced. At one time, she was the highest paid black entertainer in the country, completely booked at $1,500 a week. But for many folk, Bessie was more than a blues singer. She represented hope and triumph in the entertainment world. Bessie had a strong, aggressive, and assertive personality, and an often excessive lifestyle that included a lot of drinking, fistfights, and wild sexual encounters with both men and women. And she showed very little tolerance for anyone whose aim was to exploit her. Bessie Smith was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1894, and since both her parents died before she reached womanhood, she was raised by her sister Viola. Her brothers, Clarence and Andrew, they're the ones who encouraged young Bessie to learn how to sing and dance. Bessie's career began in 1912 when she was discovered by none other than Ma Rainey, when Ma's Revue was passing through Chattanooga and she had a chance to hear Bessie sing. Ma Rainey took Bessie on the road with the show. In 1923, she signed with Columbia, selling over 750,000 copies that year, which placed her on the same ranks as Mamie Smith, the vaudeville singer who recorded the first blues song, Crazy Blues, in 1920. In all, Bessie recorded at least 160 songs for Columbia between 1923 and 1933. Some of her classics include Tain't Nobody's Business If I Do, Mama's Got the Blues, her self-penned Backwater Blues, and Poor Man's Blues. Sadly, Bessie died in the prime of her career in 1937. She was driving through Clarksdale, Mississippi with her friend and lover Richard Morgan when their car struck oncoming traffic. The crash mangled one of Bessie's arms and she bled to death, but she left behind a legacy that is wonderfully rich and unparalleled. Bessie was inducted into the Blues Foundation Hall of Fame in 1980 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1989. Bessie Smith, the Empress of the Blues and a DaBlues Giant. I'm Lila Lockwood, and you're watching America's #1 blues show, DaBlues.
From Jersey for slicing, dicing.
And micing.
Thank you, Rich. To our DaBlues consultant, Mr. Graveyard. Graveyard. And to Pete Bootlegger Barbeck, again, multi-talented individual, for that DaBlues CD review. And to CJ Wolf for the Blues News. Thank you so much. But most of all, we want to say thank you to you. For without you, there would be no need for us to be here. When?
Now.
Right now.
Right now.
And until next week.
No black.
No white.
Just DaBlues.
On America's #1 blues show.
This is
DaBlues.
No, don't say it.
That is truly
music to his soul.
I can't say orgasmic.
No, you cannot say that.
Okay, I won't say orgasmic, but I will say see you next week.
See you next week.